Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dazzling Dave, and this is your match preview for our team, Wolverhampton Wanderers against Manchester United. But this one is a little bit more than a preview, as it's going to be Wolves head coach after 4 years, Nuno Espirito Santo's last game in charge of our team, Wolverhampton Wanderers. So yeah, this preview's turned out to be a little bit different to what I imagined. First of all, shall I say that we've got the usual features, obviously, in the channel, my team prediction and score prediction with the PitchFootball app. But the video interviews with Leon from BoyleSports around the game, and also discussing the odds, and of course the feature with my dad, which hopefully will cheer you up a little bit, was all pre-recorded before the announcement yesterday, as I'm actually recording this, that Nuno is set to be leaving Wolves following the game against United. Obviously, we do know the press conference and stuff like that seems kind of irrelevant now about what he was talking about, because it's just been overshadowed by the announcement that Nuno's leaving. I did last night a live show with 4 other Wolves, top Wolves fans. If you've not watched that show, I'll put the link in the description below. I'll put the card up there and I'll put it on the end screen. It's a really good show. Watch that back. Lots of honest discussions about Nuno leaving, and it's also available if you want to listen to it on the Always Wolves podcast. It's a Spotify, Apple podcast, or any good podcast provider. Just search Always Wolves, and it's under the episode's called Nuno's Leaving. And we talked very honestly and openly. The day after, I mean, I've got to admit that I didn't have a great night's sleep last night. I feel like a kind of a sense of loss, a sense of bewilderment, because it's kind of come out of nowhere about Nuno, leaving. And we did debate on whether he has chosen to go or whether he's been pushed. Well, more's come to light, hasn't there? From some journalists saying that it was decided by Fosun 5 days ago that they wanted to go in a different direction. Some differences of opinions behind the scenes. That they nearly got rid of him in January after the West Brom result. But Nuno is such an amazing person. He's kind of like got this godlike figure at Wolverhampton, really. I know there's a few of the Nuno out brigade, going on social asking for his head. And I've always, and most of the people that have watched this channel have always been very understanding of the difficulties for Nuno and the coaching team, what with the injuries, no fans, lack of pre-season. There's lots that have contributed, and to still finish in 12th place with half the team out and all the other sporadic injuries we've had, in the end isn't such a bad achievement. The style of football this season hasn't been great. It's fair to say, obviously, we were 6th when Raul Jimenez got injured. So if you look at the form table since then, it's been, close to relegation form. Can you say so? There are arguments that you can understand people saying, but for me, I thought that what makes you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and Nuno's learnt a lot. He'd been talking about what they're doing in pre-season, and it just didn't feel that he would walk away. And it says mutual agreement, but it seems like it's Fosun that have made the decision. And my sense of disbelief waking up this morning, I'm quite upset about it, to be honest. And I've got a little bit of anger, because I just feel that who they're going to bring in is going to be able to do a better job with Nuno, and it feels a little bit like the heart and soul of the club has just been ripped out, and where there was certainty and stability, I now see uncertainty. I worry about the team disintegrating, because the players are obviously very loyal, been loyal to the club and loyal to Nuno, and now he's moving on. Will, you know, likes of Neves and Traore, and who was already speculated about, and other players now think, well, maybe that's the end of our journey with Wolves, and we'll end up having a team that's completely changed. And we've seen what happens when teams chop and change. It's hard for players to bed in, and we've got a new manager. There's loads speculating. We'll talk more about this on that channel at some point, but you know, I'm starting to come to terms with it. No doubt in my mind that Nuno will get a sensational send-off at Molineux. I'm sure that when the coach pulls up, there'll be loads of fans singing his name. In the stadium there'll only be 4,500 fans, and he will get a send-off, and I'm sure that Nuno himself and the players will be quite emotional, because to them he's been like a father figure, hasn't he? And he's, you know, he's just epitomised taking Wolves from lower reaches of the Championship to the amazing 2 years finishing 7th in the Premier League, you know, the FA Cup semi-final, quarter-final victory over United, the chaos at the Cardiff, the 2 penalties and Warnock, him in the stands with Bristol City, you know, when he does his way, we've not had that. I was just like looking so forward to all of that next year with a full Molineux and kicking on, and I really believed that we were going to have such a good season next year, and I was so positive about it. And now I'm not. I'm like, what's going to happen next? I think Fosun, if they have pushed Nuno, they are going to live or die by this decision. If it goes well, such as, for example, what happened with Chelsea and Tuchel and Lampard, then just turn around and go, right, okay, good decision. But if it doesn't go well and the new manager comes in and there's changes and then it's the start of next season's really bad, the fans will really start to turn and start to wonder what Fosun's ambitions and investments are. So, you know, it's a key period. I said this summer was going to be very pivotal for Wolves, and it's even more so. Now, looking ahead to the game, this is what the team I think he's going to go with. I think as it's his last game, I think he will revert to the 3 at the back. So I'm going to go, he'll play the players that have served him and he's been loyal to so long. So I think it'll be Rui in goal, Cody Bolle and Soyez. I think the middle will be Neves, Dendoncker and Moutinho, Semedo and Aït-Nouri, and up front Fabio Silva and Traore. That's what I'm predicting. I think he'll go with the players that he's been with him for the longest and play them one last time, and you couldn't blame him for that. I think there will be youngsters on the bench that he'll obviously might look at bringing on, but that's my team. What do you think on that? Anyway, I'm going to go over now and have a chat to Leon from BoyleSports ahead of the game, and the latest odds, and some good odds on this as well, and it's interesting chat. And then after that we're going to go over to my dad, and you do get to see a little bit of my mum as well, so, and I got to actually interview him inside this week, so hopefully that will put a smile on your face too. Let's go over to Leon at BoyleSports. Hey everyone, and welcome once again, Leon from BoyleSports. The final match of this surreal season, Wolves at home to Manchester United. 4,500 fans will be in Molineux for this one. Leon, how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, Dave. It's been a good week if you're a Liverpool fan, which I am. We seem to be just getting wins. The scoreline, I don't think does Burnley justice, if I'm being honest. It was a closer game than 3-0 would suggest. They had their chances. They played their part in that particular match. Nat Phillips again cleared one off the line. I thought he was absolutely exceptional. And for me, he's got to be kept at Liverpool in that squad, because make no mistake about it, he is an old-fashioned centre-half that will put his head anywhere. Wolves, on the other hand, Dave, against Everton, I mean, you and I were speaking just before we came on. They had plenty of corners, a couple of chances to take the lead. They didn't get it. And then Richarlison, you've got to give him credit. It was a well-taken goal.
Good news for Wolves fans as well. We were just talking about that. Raul Jimenez getting the thumbs up. Looks like he will be able to pick up his career with a protective headband. He's had the thumbs up from the consultant that he can now take full contact training, and that's going to be positive news for Wolves going forward into next season.
Oh, Dave, that's the best news I've heard all week, because that was a horrific head injury. Raul Jimenez has been such a success for Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club, and touch wood, everything goes well now in the off season. He comes back for pre-season, and he'll be such a massive asset to have back fit and raring to go for the upcoming Premier League season, because I'm in no doubt Wolves will finish an awful lot better in the table next season than they did this time around. Injuries to him and to obviously Neto, who's such a creative player. They've had to rely on a couple of youngsters in the last kind of 4 or 5 games, which I think will also benefit Wolves next year, because these guys will have had Premier League experience, and that should stand to them going forward.
Oh, 100%. And talking about Pedro Neto and some youngsters, when we're looking, Pedro Neto last night was at the Wolves Awards, was awarded Player of the Season. So fantastic for him. Obviously, he won't be playing against Manchester United, but someone that will probably lead the line again at the weekend. Fabio Silva got Young Player of the Year, 18 years of age. Be interesting to see the goal scorer markets for this game, for the United match.
Yeah, look, wouldn't it be nice for him to top off Young Player of the Year and then to get a goal against Man U? Look, he's not actually that big a price. He's 11-2 to score first or last. And he's 13-8 to score at any time. And look, the favourite is Cavani at 5-1. So then you've got the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Mason Greenwood, and Silva all in there at 11-2. And this young guy is making his mark. He is a very young kid. They signed him for, what was it, 30 million, Dave? Something in that region, yeah. 35 million. So that brings an awful lot of pressure with it to a young kid who's only 18, coming to a new country, coming to what the best league in the world. And I don't say that lightly, because it is the best league in the world. You look at the performance of English clubs in the 2 European competitions this year, it tells you exactly how strong the Premier League is. And for this young kid to come in and be almost kind of thrust into the first 11 way before he would have been, only due to that horrific injury that Raul suffered, I think Silva has accomplished quite a lot. And I'd love him to score against Man United on Sunday. Wolves are getting United at a good time. United have been playing awful in the last 3 or 4 games. They were shocking against Fulham. They were dreadful against Liverpool. And I just think Man United, they've got one eye on the Europa League final. They don't really care too much about this game against Wolves. And for that reason, I'm going to go for Wolves to beat Man U, because yes, there's only 4,500 people back in at Molineux, but Wolves are 6-4 to beat United, Dave. And I just have a feeling, I don't know who Solskjaer is going to pick. I don't know what type of side he's going to go with. Does he rest players in case he gets one of his star men an injury ahead of the Europa League final? It already looks as if they're not going to have Harry Maguire. He's a massive loss. So I think Solskjaer might tweak the side a little bit, and I think that's going to suit Wolves.
Do you know what? I think you're probably right, actually, because let's face it, United are going to finish second in the Premier League, whatever happens against Wolves. They've got a massive game, the Europa League final, which obviously I think they have had one eye on for a few weeks, and that might have affected with, when players drop their performance a little bit because they don't want to get injured for a big game like that. It does affect. So, and we have had since we've been in the Premier League, Wolves have had a bit of the upper hand against United. We lost a couple of times, but we have beaten them a few times. We knocked them out the FA Cup quarter-final. What a fantastic night at Molineux, one of the best atmospheres when we got to the semi-final at Wembley. And I think, like you, I'm going to be obviously positive, but it would be nice to finish the season with a win at home in front of some of the fans cheering the boys on. I mean, what are you thinking about how many goals are going to be scored in this one?
Yeah, look, Dave, as we know, Wolves, they don't score an awful lot of goals, and they don't concede an awful lot either. So I think if you're looking at a Wolves win, look, I was going to tip up 1-1, which is 11-2. But I just start thinking about Man United. I start thinking about the Europa League final. And that's all they care about now. They know they're going to finish second. This is a nothing game to Manchester United. You might even see the likes of Van de Beek get a start. You might see a couple of youngsters be drafted in. And for that reason, I'm going to go for Wolves to win 2-1. I still think United will score, but I just think Wolves at home, a couple of thousand fans in the stadium, 2-1 is an 8-1 chance. And I definitely feel Fabio Silva, it's an award. It's a Young Player of the Season award, but that's got to make him stand a little bit taller. That's got to make him feel good about himself, that he's winning over Wolves fans, Wolves teammates. He's only a young kid. And I just feel for someone like him to score with the fans there on the last game of the season, sometimes it's written in the stars. So I'm going to go for Fabio to score first at 11-2.
Sometimes it is. And don't forget, everyone, just check the link in the description below. You can still get, if you sign up as a new person, throw £10 in there, you get 30 £30 worth of free bets to have some fun, either on the website or in the app. And as always, Leon, just bet what they can afford and enjoy betting.
Absolutely. Always advise people to just bet sensibly, bet small, have a little bit of fun, and never, ever bet more than what you can afford to lose. 100% correct, Dave. It's about having a little bit of fun while you're watching Wolves. And I think if anyone out there is looking at maybe putting a couple of quid on or whatever you want, nice and small, go with the young kid. Go with Silva to get the first goal. I just have a feeling in front of 4,500 fans, this kid could become a superstar. And I think the Wolves fans are really, really going to warm to this young lad. He's got all the makings of a really exciting talent.
Well, make sure you do follow Leon's feelings, because he does tend to be quite accurate. And just to finish off on, Leon, I just want to say a massive thank you to you and BoyleSports for supporting the channel and coming on with this feature. It's been something that's been proved to be really, really popular. And although it's our last one for this season, I just wanted to put on record my big thanks for coming on every week to do this on the preview for us.
No, Dave, look, it's been our absolute pleasure. It's been a joy talking to you before every Wolves game. I've been on a couple of times with you at halftime, and I've really enjoyed it. And look, it's been a tough season for Wolves, but however, you've got to look at how far the club has come in the last couple of seasons. And when you lose your big players, it's tough for any team. Look at Liverpool. No one thought even they would have got into the top four, but they've given themselves a chance. But it is hard when you lose your main guys and your guys who can create and your guys who can put the ball in the back of the net, because it's still the hardest job in football to score goals. But Dave, it's been our pleasure, and hopefully Wolves can sign the season off with a victory over Man U.
Thanks ever so much to Leon. Now let's go to my dad, Magic Moss. So here we are, and it's a wonderful occasion because, yes, I've not had to make Dad stand on the doorstep. He's actually, because we're allowed indoors now. Hi, Dad.
Hi, son.
And here he is with his latest cuddly that we found in cuddling today. Who is it, Dad?
That's Paddy.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, Dad, we lost again, but the youngsters were playing. Nuno's obviously experimenting. It's the last match of the season coming up at the weekend at home. We've got some fans in the stadium. Me and you are not going to that one. We're waiting till we can get back for next season.
Yeah, full house, yeah.
Full house, and we'll be in well. Against Manchester United, what are you thinking ahead of the game?
Oh, it's a hard one. 1-0 to Wolves. Oh, go on.
1-0, and who's going to score that goal, Dad?
We'll have Torre.
Is that your default option, Torre?
Yeah, well,
If Torre wasn't going to score, who's going to score?
the goalkeeper. No.
Well, we've seen that happen with Liverpool recently.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, but go on. Who else would score?
Now I'll have that young lad. What's his name? The 18-year-old.
You on about Fabio Silva?
Yeah, no, Fabio Silva.
Fabio Silva. If he does score 2 goals as well, Fabio will be our top scorer.
I think so.
I know, yeah, because he would have had 6. Because the top scorer is Neves and Neto at the moment. So Dad's going for a 1-0 win over the Red Devils at Molineux. Has Paddy in agreement with you?
He agreed with me, don't you, buddy?
Is Mom in agreement? That's me mum. There we go. Dad, so do we have a song to sing to Mum? Serenade.
Another one.
You have to sing.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your hearts of dew. I'm all crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage. But you look sweet upon the street with a bicycle made for two. Whoa, whoa.
What's that at the end?
Oh.
There you go. Mom getting in on the action as well. Lovely to see him both. Dad, it's been an interesting season.
Sure,
this is the last pre-match of the season, the match reaction, but everyone loves seeing you, Dad, and they like to see that you're all right as well, Mom. Do you want to say a little quick word of love?
I'm getting there slowly. Let's put it like that.
Fantastic. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, love you all, and take care of yourselves, everybody.
Love you, Dad.
Love you, son.
Always Wolves.
Always Wolves, Davey.
Always Wolves.
Look after yourself, son.
Absolutely brilliant with my dad, and lovely to see my mum as well, who's obviously struggled this year. So yeah, finally going on to my final score prediction of the season. You know what, I'm going to be positive. The players hopefully are going to be so motivated. I think, as discussed, Man United will make changes, so I'm going to go, and just because of the fans are there as well and the occasion, I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Wolves. Maybe I'm being eternally optimistic again, but it would be great, wouldn't it? A fantastic performance and a victory over United to end the season, and to send Nuno off. Obviously, I'm not going to be there at the game myself. I'm doing the watch along, so please look at joining me to talk about this and Nuno in the game during the watch along, which will be 20 minutes before kick-off. And then 9 p.m. Sunday night, me and Amy will be discussing obviously the match, but also the hot topic, which is going to be Nuno and going forward. And if you want to go on there on extra time to put your opinions on the Nuno situation, please get on the Always Wolves Facebook page, the link below, send us a message and we'll get you on. I'm sure it's going to be a massive big show, and lots of people will want to have the say, so you know, get in early so that you can be lined up ready for extra time. Anyway, this is quite a long preview. Obviously circumstances surrounding this fixture. Nuno, Espirito, Santo, 4 years he's been in the job, and the game at the weekend against Manchester United at Molineux in front of 4,500 fans will be his last game. And you know, thank you for the memories, Nuno, and thank you for everything you've done. You're a top bloke. You know, you've led with dignity, and we just, you know, whatever you do next, we wish you, of course, all the best. So until the watch along, I'm Dazzling Dave. Always Wolves.